Īśopaniṣad, 18 mantras. We are on 16, well, we are on 6th mantra, and we have already had 2 sessions. 18. Today we will move on and we will get a bit more deeper. Maybe we need another session to conclude, so there will be altogether 4 sessions, hopefully. But today we will try to get a bit more deeper in it. Shri Īśopaniṣad by Srila Prabhupada. Please feel free to join me in Mangalacharya. Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnana-janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam hena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovesham Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatiriyabhascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachat Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Radha, Hare Krishna. So, as we were saying that we started Shri Īśopaniṣad. Out of lot 108 Upanishads, Shri Īśopaniṣad is one of those which speaks directly about Ishwar, about the Lord. And it says the very first mantra, invocation mantra, Om Purnamada Purnamidam, that Krishna, the Lord Supreme, Absolute Truth, is complete. And we come out of that complete, and hence we are also complete. Then the very first verse is on Īśāvasyam principle, that everything belongs to Krishna. So everything is perfect because it's Purna, and everything belongs to that Purna, and everything belongs to that Ishwar, Īśāvasyam principle. How, if we live in the harmony with that? Hare Krishna, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, just something that I heard yesterday. It says that normally in mathematics or arithmetic, 1 plus 1 is 2, or 1 minus 1 is 0. It says that with Krishna and with Īśopaniṣad, 1 plus 1 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is also 1. Because Ishwar is complete, anything addition, distraction, subtraction, nothing ever changes. So Ishwar remains 1. So I thought I would share that.
Thank you so much for sharing, Mataji. Thank you. Indeed, that's what it is. And that's how spiritual calculations are so much different than material calculations. There are many more things when we get into Bhagavatam. And hopefully one day we will. After this, we will do Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion by Rupa Goswamiji. And then hopefully we will get to Shrimad Bhagavatam. And then we will hear so many stories, so many different pastimes of the Lord and the devotees that materially, if we think about it, it's very hard for us to understand. But yes, yeah, the acharyas, they have given the purport, they have given the explanations, and through them, we understand them very well. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mataji. That's so true that even though Krishna is 1 or 100%, and we come out of Krishna, and still that is there. And another analogy we always give that when we offer prasad to Krishna, it to our mundane eyes, it looks like Krishna hasn't taken anything because whatever we offered is still there, 100%. But Krishna has still taken it. Krishna has received it. Krishna had hold it, and then what we left with is a prasad. And of course, at the end of the day, it's all about our consciousness, and that's gets more clarified in this verse that based on what kind of consciousness we have, we could be classified as Kanishta, Madhyam, or Uttama, devotee, the disciple, the Vaishnava. Hari. So the second verse says that if we live in that principle, Īśopaniṣad, that how we could live in harmony, how this Īśopaniṣad principle can make us happy. Of course, it can, because then we won't become, or we will not try to become the owner of anything. We will not. Krishna is the owner, and we are just the servants. And then if we will not live, it's not that this is a good choice. This is the best choice, because the other choice is if we will try to become the owners of things, husband, wife, children, in the office, colleagues, then we will definitely get into disharmony. And there are many more examples of that as well. So that's the first section. We moved on to the second section, which is 4 to 8 verses. And that says that Krishna could not be understood by material vision. We need a spiritual vision. And getting further, how we split 4 to 8 verses is the first 2 verses we have seen, 4 and 5, in this category, that Krishna is inconceivable. Krishna is far, Krishna is near, Krishna doesn't walk, but Krishna runs. How is it possible? It's very hard for us to even conceive. But again, taking some examples and the explanation from acharyas, we can understand. And that's what we refer here as a spiritual vision. That those who are acting on material platform, that could be people, humans, that could be the scriptures we read. If those scriptures are mundane, then the vision they give us, that will be mundane as well. But the scriptures we read, if they are spiritual, then those spiritual scriptures will give us spiritual vision. And the Bhagavad Gita is a classic example, written more than 5,000 years back, and still we read it. And it's still so much valid, all that knowledge, all that wisdom. And then the next, where we are at the moment, verses 6 to 7, that how this spiritual vision helps. This spiritual vision helps us to see Krishna everywhere, helps us to see Krishna even in material things, never mind the spiritual. And this is the main reason a lot of those who follow Advaita, they say you will become God. What they try to say is that your vision will become spiritualized. Vision will become so pure that you will see Krishna everywhere and within you as well. And of course, we know Krishna is within us in form of super soul. So we have soul and we have super soul. And the Atma, it's pure. And when we have that realization, that first realization, that we are soul, everybody else is soul, that's what we call Brahman realization, then moving on to Paramatma realization. And we will see a little bit more. This is the verse, beautiful Sanskrit verses being used here. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmane. Now this is the Sanskrit where we will get into a bit more detail what this word means. Ivanu pashyati. So where we have a little dash on top of a that stretches a. So this is, without this it could become even, but now not even Ivan, but this will go Ivan. Ivanu pashyati. And we will see what this means, this word. Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato na yujugupsati. And this is with the translation, if you see, he who systematically sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities, not only living humans, living beings, but this goes for animals, this goes to the plants, insects, everything which is living. And of course, later we will see not only living, even in the non-living, we will be able to see. Because Paramatma is there even in non-living. So every living thing has soul, but even non-living thing has super soul. Has its parts and parcel. Again, this has been verified in Bhagavad Gita as well. And who sees Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being. And this is where we go back to verses 2 and 3 of Shri Īśopaniṣad, that how we can live in harmony. Well, we can live in harmony because when we live with this as spiritual vision, then we will not hate anyone. No anger, no jealousy, no enviness. And imagine how compassionate that life could be. And how beautiful that life could be. And this will happen right now. And this could happen right now. Right? We don't need to become enlightened. Right? We don't need to leave the body, go to heaven, go to Vaikuntha, go to Goloka Dharma. With that spiritual vision, now and here we could. So it says most of the time, religions, different religions, the major organized religions in the world, when they promise happiness to us, Sat Chit Ananda, they say that a time will come. So it's not here, a time will come in future. It's not in present, it will come in future after your death, most of the time. And it's not here, it's somewhere else. So it's not where you have access now. Only after death you can go. But Sanatana Dharma, Vedic culture, very, very clearly declares that Brahman realization could be now and could be here. We don't need to wait for the time. We just need to work on our consciousness. And that's why Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness, the Lord's consciousness, the absolute consciousness, the pure consciousness. There are different names based on which category of scriptures we read. For example, Vedas, Upanishad, and then Puranas, and then Mahakavya, like Mahabharata and Ramayana. So Kanishta, neophyte, somebody who's very new. Madhyam, who has developed a bit better consciousness, but still not there. And Uttam is where Krishna says, if you have reached to that consciousness, then you don't fall down. You don't fall down at all. Then you will see oneness in everything, because you can see what's false and what's real. And the classic example of this is Advaita Purana, Upanishads, they use this a lot. Markandeya, Mandukya. So there is a Markandeya Puran and there is Mandukya Upanishad. So Mandukya Upanishad gives this analogy that there is a darkness. And if you see in Mangala Charan, the very first verse we say is Om Ajnana Tirmandasya. Gyan. So the spiritual master, the guru, gives us the spiritual vision. And what happens with that spiritual vision? That the darkness disappears, right? And the Upanishads say that there is darkness, and the darkness is in our consciousness. Because of the darkness, we cannot see things as they are. And there is a rope, and this analogy has been given number of times in Upanishads. And if you read Advaita Vedanta, this is like their holy grail. They come back to this again and again and again. And Srila Prabhupada used these examples as well, many places in the purports. So what this analogy is, that if there is a darkness, and we can only, even in darkness, we can see a bit, because our pupils, our eyes, they adjust to even the darkness, even the dim light there. And there is a rope there. But we think that this rope is not a rope, it's a snake, right? So the rope is non-living, harmless, but a snake is living and could be harmful. So in reality, there is no snake. But in illusion, there is a snake. And that's what we consider the material world as it is. Whatever we see is just the illusion. And we have seen this example before, which is if a beautiful woman wearing very correct clothes maybe, and when a bachelor will see, wow, I would like to enjoy this woman, or could be other way around as well. But then when a child will look, oh, my mother is coming, she's going to give me milk. And when the father will say, oh, my dear daughter coming. And when the lion will say, lion, tiger, any animal will say, wow, my lunch is coming. Now, if there was something in that women, then everybody would have felt the same. But everybody perceive it differently. Why? Because of our vision, because of our consciousness, isn't it? So, for example, we eat food. Somebody will see green chili, and maybe children, because they don't like very spicy food, when they will see green chili, they say, no, I don't want it. And maybe those mothers, they love green chilies. They say, oh, please, your food is perfect, but do you have a spare green chili? And you have to bring green chili specially. Now, if something was there in green chili, everybody would feel the same. But it's in our own consciousness. Of course, it's not only the consciousness as the thoughts, but the physical body as well. The taste we have developed. And this is what we consider as the illusion. It's not the green chili. It's not the women. It's not the rope. It's the illusion we have. If we develop the consciousness to see everything in oneness, and this is what happens. Somebody who is a Buddha, enlightened one, a Uttam Adhikari, a pure devotee, like Srila Prabhupada, you would see even that woman as a pure soul who could develop love for Krishna, right? And that's where we would like to get to. So scriptures have explained very nicely, but acharyas have elaborated it even further. And if we will work on it, if we will continuously hear that, then what will happen? That what Guru would do. Guru will give us instructions. Guru is not going to do any magic. So we said in Kanishta, the very first thing is that Kanishta would have just received the initiation, right? From the spiritual master. What is that initiation? That initiation is giving instructions. It says there are two different kind of seva we can do towards spiritual master. One is classified as Vapu and one is classified as Vani. Vapu is physically serving the Guru. which could be that when the guru are usually old, so you go with them, carry their luggage. If they get tired, maybe massage their feet and help them in anything they need, but physically. But then that's vapu. It says, or the scripture says, Acharyas explain further, more than vapu is the Vani seva. Vani is the instructions, the verbal or written instructions given by the spiritual master. If we follow that, and of course, if we haven't got the guru yet, we have the scriptures. The scriptures are considered as our mother. And the instructions given by our parents, our mother, we really, really need to understand clearly so we can follow them nicely. Right? And what that initiation by spiritual master is, what that Vani, what that instruction is, that the guru is just giving the instruction that when you are in the dark room, switch on the light. So the guru could again and again and again try to, or many other friends of ours, Vaishnava friends, devotee friends, they can ask us number of times that, no, understand, that's not a rope, that's not a snake, that's a rope. And we will say, oh yeah, we understand this is not a snake, this is a rope. But do we really, really realized it? Not until we will switch on the light, and then we will know. Then nobody needs to try to persuade us. No one. We would just know that this is a rope, this is not a snake. And this is what we call self-realized. And that self-realized person, nobody could cheat that person anymore. That person is not in confusion because the light has been lit. The person could just see that this world is illusion. And whatever we try to grab here is just going to stay for a while. And this example, if you remember, this is where Uttamadhikari comes. This is where we say oneness, false or real. So what is real and what is false? Uttamadhikari, somebody with a pure consciousness. So the whole journey of Krishna consciousness is moving from Kanishta to Uttam. To develop that consciousness, which we also say Krishna Prema, the love towards God. Now somebody might ask, well, Arjun did ask this from Krishna, that Sthit Pragya, some Sthit Pragya. What is Sthit Pragya? Sthit, establish, Pragya, develop that consciousness. Somebody who has developed that consciousness, what does that person do? So what did Buddha do? And there are many more examples. Mahavir is there from different religion, if we see, and all the acharyas we have in Vaishnava. What do they do once they have reached to that level? And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, they lead by example. They will serve and they will live the life which we all will get inspired to live. We can see the example of Rupa Goswami. We can see the example of Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada himself. The kind of selfless service they have been doing. Whatever they did was associated with Krishna. And this is what we need to do. But Kanishta would not understand just now, because Kanishta will only see deity. Oh, right, okay, we go to the temple and okay, these are deities. But other devotees, the Kanishta will not give very any attention, not at all. And there are many verses from different scriptures, especially from Srimad Bhagavatam, which says the same, that a person who is faithfully engaged in worship of deity. So you will see most of the Hindus will definitely have, or most of the time, will have temple in their home, and they have the deity or may have the pictures, but does not know how to behave towards other devotees. So it's like a child will serve the father, but will not know how to take care of the siblings. Now, our father is the Lord, the Krishna, the Absolute. We cannot see them, But how can we serve? The only way to serve is to take care of our own siblings, to take care of other devotees. That's how we can. But Kanishta is not at that level. This is where we said how to treat various devotees. And Uttam is, of course, we'll see everyone same, so will not matter. Neophyte, we have already mentioned. The neophyte will not give much attention to the devotees, will not see who is new, who is old, how to treat others, will just consider them as normal people coming to the temple. But definitely have faith in the Lord, have faith in the deity. Deity worship is that uniqueness that neophyte will have. But Madhyamadikari is a bit more complex, because Madhyamadikari is somewhere. It's like somebody who hasn't started the race, or who has just started the race. We know that this is a marathon and this will take a long time. So, okay, let them slowly, gradually pick up the speed. And we know those who are nearly at the finish line, they have, or those who have already finished, we know they are dedicated. But those who are in the middle, we are a bit conscious. Oh, they have already put so much hard work. They know the importance of it, right? That's why they have done half the marathon. But whether they are going to do the full, oh, that's where the trouble is. That's where the most inspiration and motivation is required, right? So because I'm telling you from my personal experience, because I ran the marathon. When we run the marathon in the beginning, you already are passionate because you're full of energy. And right at the end, there are many more people too. And you can see the finish line and you get motivated. But in the middle, there are many occasions when you think, why did I? It's not an easy part. It's not an easy part. Something similar happens in spiritual as well. That in Krishna consciousness, we are dedicated, we have been working hard, and now and then we think, why is so hard? I don't think I will be able to make it. And that's where Madhyamadikari is. That's why the best solution is association. When you are running the marathon, just keep looking around others. And that it's a beautiful place. Not only the volunteers are outside, both sides, they are cheering you up, but the other runners who are there next to you, other devotees who are practicing devotees, who might be struggling just as you, just as me, they inspire. And they inspire differently. They inspire by saying that what you're doing is great, what you have achieved so far is great, don't give up. Or maybe you will see them struggling and still keep trying again and again. They fall down, they get up again, fall down and get up again. And they keep doing it, and you will just get inspired and motivation. That's where Madhyamadikari is. And that's why it says, materially, people do suicide, but spiritually, no one will ever do suicide. Why? Because we know that Krishna is there to save us. We know it doesn't really matter how many times we fall down, as long as the number of times we get up is a bit, just even if it's one more time, number of times we fall down, it's better. We are still running. So we fell down 4 times, but we got up 5 times. So the 5th one is we got up and we are still running. So as long as the number of times we got up is more than number of times we fell down, we are still in the race. And that's what Madhyamadikari does. But Madhyamadikari is somebody who has received a spiritual initiation from a spiritual master, has been fully engaged by him. Remember what we said? What a spiritual master will do? A spiritual master will give the instruction. We'll say, turn on the light, or whether we turn on the light or not. And the only thing is, compared to the example of the rope and snake, that maybe there is only one rope in one room, we switch on the light, we can see that. But when we move on to the different room, then we have to switch on the light again. And in our material life, in real life, we keep moving from one room to another, don't we? Initially, we are brahmacharis. We are in primary school, then we get into secondary school. First, we have different interests, then we become preteen, teen, and young adult, and then we get into the young professional or maybe university in between. Then young professionals, and then when we start getting money, and then it's a different room altogether. But if the instructions are still there, then we know we need to switch on the light. Om Ajnana Tramandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namah. I bow down to that Guru who has given me the knowledge. And from that knowledge, I'm going to open my netra, my eyes, and I'm going to get the spiritual vision. So my illusion will go away and I can see the snake. Oh, I will not see the snake, but the snake is not there. I can see that snake is illusion and I can see the rope. And I know straight away that then many other friends will come and they will say, drink alcohol, let's take drugs, let's enjoy, let's get high. But we know that all this is just illusion. We have seen. And I can't tell you how many friends of mine, childhood friends, college friends, university friends. I might have given the example of one of my university friend who recently said to me that from New Year, I will be like you. And that's like a couple of weeks back. He said, I said, what do you mean by me? Like me? He said, I will leave everything, alcohol, and I will become vegetarian and all. And there was another friend who is a very close friend of his, and he started laughing. That I don't think. They know each other. Well, we all know each other for last 20 years. I said, I don't think. And I know this guy, this friend of mine, when he was vegetarian, when he was non-alcoholic, when he came to UK, then only he got into, I say, bad association, and he started, well, he didn't smoke, but started drinking alcohol, and he was a South Indian Brahmin. So he was a pure vegetarian. But he fell into that university friend circle and became non-veg. But now, after 20 years, he's saying that I will become like you. Why? Because the lights are opening for him now. But of course, this is his personal experience. This is like somebody who is not following the spiritual master, not opening the light and just touching the rope with a fear and realizing that it's not a snake. But imagine we are in a dark room and that rope, which is pretending, well, the rope is not pretending, but in our illusion, it pretends to be it appears to be the snake. Will you go near? But somehow, if you got to, because you don't know how long you're going to live with that fear, because that snake is not moving, you are not moving, you got to overcome your fear. You might have to go down, of course, because you are not ready to follow your spiritual master, not ready to switch on the light, not ready to develop the spiritual vision. And that's what it happened to him. After so long, obviously 40 plus now, he has realized how bad his health is. And he's very fit guy there, but still he has realized that all this is bad for health and he's going to leave all those things now, or at least he said he will. But this is again where association comes in, and that's where Madhyam Adhikaris are. Whether we are neophyte or Madhyam Adhikari, we should always be in association. We take association. Uttam Adhikari, pure consciousness, they give association, right? Of course, Madhyam Adhikari can also give association to neophytes, right? But if we keep ourselves humble, we consider ourselves neophyte, then we will always be ready to take the association of those who are a bit further away, better, much more progressed spiritually in Krishna consciousness. And that's where Madhyam Adhikari comes in. So fully engaged by him. Him is our spiritual master. The spiritual master gives us the instructions. To be situated midway in devotional service. As we said, we took the example, the analogy of the marathon. Not at the start point, not at the finishing point, somewhere in the middle. And that's where the most inspiration required. And there are more verses. We have seen the previous verse, and then this verse is mainly for the Madhyam Adhikari. who is a devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest object of love. So now it's not just the deity worship, but who makes friends with the Lord's devotees, right? Now we become those children who know that how we can serve our Father is by serving our own siblings, our God brothers, God sisters, and of course, other Vaishnavas. And is merciful to the ignorant neophyte. If you're Madhyamadikari, you will consider neophyte as ignorant, should not, but are we saying that, of course, in that consciousness, and avoids those who are envious by nature. Of course, there are many more. Those who have, they maybe the very first time they heard. And this happens when we go out on book distribution. Many of those from different religion, they say, you know what, you're going to go to hell. And you say, what? What did I do? They say, well, you don't listen what it says in, and then they take the name of their own holy book. I say, well, let's discuss. But they don't want to discuss. They say, no, it's a sin for us if we will discuss your holy book. You come and you discuss our holy book. I say, yeah, let us discuss what your holy book says. And even if we start discussing that, it boils down to the same consciousness, what the Lord is saying we should be. But rather than getting into the religion, people get muddled up with the culture. What people do, like the father did that, so the children doing it without knowing why. And that's where the blind faith comes into picture. But Uttamadikari is someone who knows it all, who has seen it all, who sees things with oneness, right? So we have already discussed this, where it says is very advanced. So our Guru Maharaj and the God brothers, God sisters of his level, they've spent all their life. So more than how long I have spent on this planet, Guru Maharaj has spent in Krishna consciousness, serving others without stopping. And his heart is completely clean, not only for Vaishnavas, even for non-Vaishnavas. Remember the previous one, even Madhyamadikari will see that will avoid those who are envious and will be merciful towards who are ignorant. So imagine Uttamadikari. Uttamadikari will just see everyone as same, has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. So nothing is a pure. So there is a difference between mixed and pure devotional service. So mixed devotional service is when we take religion as insurance. Oh, let us do, it's a Damodar month, let's do the Damodar Ashtakam. So Krishna will give us so much mercy because this is a bonus month. Everything is multifold. So let's try to take a lot of punyas. That's alloyed. That's something mixed in it. That's mixed devotional service. But when we just do it because of the love of Krishna, and Damodar Ashtakam, I shared last time, such a beautiful, and I will share a very beautiful series I've just shared on Zoom, and I will share on YouTube as well. This is coming from another great Vaishnava in our Sampradaya, who is His Grace Amrendra Prabhu. Very young and very, very sincere soul. And he has explained so much in detail how we can understand, what we can understand from Damodar Ashtakam. So if you get chance, if you haven't already, this is very new. He made series 1, I think last year. This is series 2. Only 2 weeks back, this video came out, and there are a few more videos following up. But this is what it is. And according to Srila Rupa Goswami, who is one of the prominent Acharya from 6 Acharyas, Shad Goswamis of Vrindavan, the association and service of such a Mahabhagavat, another name from Uttamadikari, Mahabhagavat, or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. Like nothing else. We say we need association, but even association, whose association? Somebody who is so enlightened. And this is where the wisdom comes in. If we have a football match or cricket match or a spiritual gathering, which one we will decide? And if we have 2 spiritual gathering, if we are lucky enough, then whose spiritual gathering we are going to? We will have to find out who is coming there. If a pure devotee, if Uttamadhikari, somebody who has unalloyed Krishna consciousness is coming, we should definitely make all the efforts to go and take the association there. And there are many verses, many verses. So this says 1426 in Bhagavad Gita, one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, no exception at all. And this is what Uttamadhikari is. At once transcends the mode of material nature, all the three gunas, passion, ignorance, goodness, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Right? So this is where what we call Brahman realization. At once. So this is why it says in Bhagavad Gita, at once we could be Brahman realized. Right? That spiritual vision could be achieved. And this is another verse from chapter 6, which is on Dhyana Yoga. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. Again, that inconceivable thing, sees me everywhere. And of course, sees me in everyone, but sees everything in me, which means that not only that Krishna is everywhere, but Krishna is the source of everything. Because of Krishna, everything comes into existence. I am never lost, never ever. And this is great example, Prahlad Maharaj. Wherever, whatever his father did, he could always feel the presence of Lord. And that's why he said at the end, when Hiranyakashipu said, where is Lord? You say Vishnu, 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 where is Vishnu? And Prahlad Maharaj said, where he is not. He's everywhere. You say, everywhere? Is he in the pillar as well? Of course, he's in the pillar as well. And it's not that the Narasimhadev was waiting there, but the trust, the faith, the unalloyed devotion of Prahlad Maharaj made Krishna to appear as Narasimha from that pillar. And this is what happens. This is what we say is that Krishna becomes the servant of the pure devotee. Krishna comes to serve, and many examples are there. Rupa Goswami Ji, Sanatan Goswami Ji, how Krishna Radharani came to them to serve in one form or another. But I am never lost. Once somebody has reached to that level, never lost. Nor is he ever lost to me. So we will not forget Krishna, Krishna will not forget us. There are many more examples where it says, the most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the supreme personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to Krishna and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord. Satta Chitta Ananda. Nothing. So material world is just the reflection, material world is just the illusion, the way we say, but spiritually Krishna is the source of all. We have seen many different examples, we have seen many different verses, many different scriptures, and when we will go to Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, we will see there as well. We have seen here in Shri Īśopaniṣad, we have seen from Bhagavatam, we have seen from Bhagavad Gita, and gave you the example from Mandukya Upanishad. And the Markandeya Puran is another beautiful Puran where Markandeya Muni got a unique darshan of Lord Krishna, a unique darshan. And Krishna in a form of a baby, a very tiny form, and he was such a baby. And this is because Markandeya Muni requested Krishna that I want to experience your Maya. And if we read Markandeya Puran, Krishna gave something similar Krishna did with the Narad Muni, because Narad Muni also wanted to taste the Maya. But why these human beings don't understand you? Krishna said, it's because of my Maya. And Narad Muni said, how strong your Maya could be? Krishna said, do you want to try? Narad Muni said, why not? And Narad Muni just lost everything. He is a brahmachari and he got married in that Maya. That's another pastime. They're beautiful pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. But again, the difference in all three is Kanishth cannot distinguish between a devotee and a non-devotee. Kanishth only focus on deity worship, nothing else. A Madhyam Adhikari is someone who can distinguish between devotee and non-devotee, who knows neophyte, Madhyam and Uttam, who understand this definition. And as well as between the devotee and the Lord. To understand the Lord is Lord and the devotees are the servants of the Lord. And that the purpose of the whole Krishna consciousness is to enhance our consciousness to reach to that level where we can see everything equiposed in oneness. Brahman realization, right? But of course, that's just the first level, Brahman realization, then Paramatma realization, and ultimately that will help us in Bhagavan realization. So Kanishta, and well, the next slide will be better, but Kanishta, and then Madhyam, and then Uttam also says there are two levels there. Of course, these are the superficial categories. Within each, there are many more categorizations, which we will see later. And Kanishta see Bhagwan, or Bhagwan in deity worship, right? Not the true meaning of Bhagwan, but Bhagwan in deity worship. Madhyam sees Paramatma. Madhyam sees Krishna is everywhere. And Krishna is the source of everything. Everyone is Krishna. No, not everyone. Everyone has Krishna in him or her in form of Paramatma, super soul. Uttama, first level, Brahman realization, the one we said, oneness. Oneness. And this is what Advaita Vedantic they talk about. But Uttama 2, the even highest level, which comes a bit later. And then this is the level of, there are 9 forms, 9 stages of bhakti. The last one, 8th and 9th, bhava and prema. And that's when we know the Lord, Bhagavan. Not only the deity, Bhagavan as Bhagavan with his own Satya Chitta Ananda body. Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji. Yeah, I was just thinking whether it was Radhesham Prabhuji. Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji described this way. Think of person, pupil, other devotees, non-devotees. Think of matter, non-living things. Think of Krishna. Those 3 things we have in our life. We have living beings, we have non-living beings, and then we have Krishna, who is the source of both living and non-living. Materialistic, right? Those who are materialistic people, they are not spiritual at all. They are attached to material things. They are attached to the house, attached to money, attached to the holidays, attached to the car, the clothes. They are attached to the more subtle things, their pride, their anger, their status, and they are detached to Krishna. They are not spiritual at all. Then we have Mayavadis. Mayavadis are usually Advait Vedanti, but not all Advait Vedantis are Mayavadi. The reason they are called Mayavadis because Maya is illusion, and they consider everything as illusion. They say everything is illusion. Again, Mayavadis could also be classed into 2. Mayavadis are detached from matter, so they're spiritual. But so some of those Advait Vedantis, they say Krishna is also Maya. So that's why they are also detached from Krishna. Everything, including Krishna, is Maya. And then Sahajya are neophyte devotees who they have just started the practice. They are called practicing devotees or sadhakas. So they have just started and they're called Sahajya. They are attached to Krishna. They started worshipping. They started following things, the rites and rituals, we could say, in Krishna consciousness. They are reading, they're helping, they're serving, but they are still attached to the matter. And a lot of us are in this form. We still want promotion in the job. We still want to drive better cars. We still would like to get our children top of the class, top of the world, top of the universe. We are still attached to the material life. Not everything is Krishna consciousness. But then we have devotees, pure devotees. Neophytes could be in Sahajya, or this devotee category could be neophyte, Madhyam, and Uttam. But Sahajya are those who have just started the process. So there's a gray line between neophyte, how neophyte we are. But then devotees, they will be detached completely. Of course, only the pure devotees, Uttamadhikari, will be completely detached from matter and completely attached to Krishna. Now, something which we should not misunderstand is that it's not that the pure devotees, they detach from matter means that they leave the material world and they just go in the cave on top of the mountain or in the jungle. No. What they do, whatever matter they use it for Krishna consciousness. An example. Srila Prabhupada ji gave an example while he was giving the lecture. He said, for example, I'm speaking in this mic. Did I say Alex? Sorry, for some reason the device got activated. So Srila Prabhupada ji said, I'm speaking in this mic, right? If somebody will sing Bollywood music in this mic will become material. But because I'm saying Krishna Katha in this mic, then this matter is now spiritualized. And this way, Srila Prabhupada ji used all the material things available, but in the service of Krishna. So it's not that the pure devotees will leave everything. They will engage not only material thing, but also the people. They are the ones, Uttamadhikaris are the one who will engage, who they are very well versed in engaging the neophyte and Madhyamadhikari in Krishna consciousness, which is the very next thing we said, oneness. Easily we can see the false and real. What is false and what is real? Then only we can see, and then there is no anxiety, there is no fear. Imagine, could there be any fear if we know that it's not a snake, it's a rope? Nobody needs to convince us otherwise. Similarly, when we know we are not this body, we are a spirit, soul, and we are not going to die, then nobody needs to make us anxious. Nobody can and nobody could. So accept bodily diversity and realize spiritual unity. That bodily we all are different, right? Even from outside, somebody will look nice, somebody might not, somebody from different continent, different countries, and different devotees, they have different, the way they exhibit their spirituality, their own Krishna consciousness. Somebody sings well, somebody cooks well. But when we have the oneness, we see everyone as same. And Srila Prabhupada made it very clear. So somebody said, is book distribution better or deity worship is better, like Pujari worship, the Pujaris who are inside? And Srila Prabhupada said, well, in Krishna's eyes, they both are same. And the person got confused, and the person said, so is it also same if somebody is just cleaning the temple? And Prabhupada said, of course, it depends on your consciousness. If somebody who is doing a pujari, who is worshipping the deity, but in the mind thinking of cricket match or football match, and somebody who is cleaning the toilet in the temple and just engrossed in the cleaning, thinking, let me clean as much as I can, because the Vaishnavas are going to come and utilize these services. And then they're going to take the darshan of the temple for the deity. Then that your consciousness, the person who is cleaning the toilet in the temple, got a better, pure consciousness compared to someone who is doing the deity worship, but the mind is somewhere else. So bodily diversities, but realize spiritual unity, considering that we all are spiritual beings. We need to develop that conscious being. So materially we all are different, but spiritually we all are same. Again, Srila Prabhupada ji, Bhakti Tirth Swamiji Maharaj was another example I think we shared, we discussed last week. Great example. Great example. So in this, so the word I was saying in Sanskrit, anu pashyati. See, according to the Shastra. Anu pashyati. According to the Shastras. So the spiritual vision has been developed. And the Shastra has one message for us. Not do. No duality there. Shastras are very clear. Liberated persons, their vision is truly beneficial, because imagine if we can see everyone as same. If all are our children or all are our masters, or we want to serve everyone, then with whom we will get jealous, from whom we will become envy? No one. And that's why you will see spiritual beings, they are always happy because they have developed that spiritual vision. That spiritual vision. And that's where there are many more examples being given. Maybe we will see those in detail next week when we will try to summarize. Or there are two more devotees who have given lectures on Shri Īśopaniṣad, and we will try to accommodate their realizations as well. Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji's presentation we are using currently, which is from Bhakti Courses. This is a website, bhakticourses.com, and we can see a lot if you would like to explore. And then Radhe Shyam Prabhuji from Pune, who is a great devotee. He has, I think I had something. Yes, I will give you quickly his darshan. So this is Radhe Shyam Prabhuji, and very well recognized in youth preaching in Pune. And I've actually met someone who did Bhakti Vaibhav with me, and a great devotee. I asked him, from where you, and he's very young, and he's in America doing PhD at the moment. And I asked him that, where did you get the inspiration to get into Krishna consciousness? He said he got associated with devotees, and those devotees led him to Prabhuji, to Radhe Shyam Prabhuji. And then he started listening and following Radhe Shyam Prabhuji, and there is no going back. And I think in 5 years he got initiated, and he got a lot of detailed understanding just by the association of a great devotee like Radhe Shyam Prabhuji. And whenever Radhe Shyam Prabhuji travels to America, he goes and he attends his lectures. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for your association. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Excellent session.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your association, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Bo. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev Maharaj ki jai. Jai Jai Shri